I don't know if it's just me or if it's a shared experience, but I really feel like literature and reading are dying. Like, they are a dying art. I don't want to sound pessimistic or mean, but it honestly feels like as time goes and new generations are born, reading and writing ability is just on a steady downswing. It's really sad and upsetting, especially for somebody who loves like deeper, more meaningful analytical writing. I'm not saying that like easy, like fun reads are bad. They're not. But I still like my fun, easy reads to be a little bit more meaty. I'm not sure how else I can explain that, but I will find some examples and we'll talk about it that way. I don't mean any offense to this author, this book, or anybody that liked this book. I just really, really did not enjoy this book, and I feel like this book is what made me really start to think about the fact that literature is just not the same. Bunny, I really, really did not like this book. I kind of understood like the aim, the goal, the idea, but I absolutely despise how it was executed. It just didn't seem very enthralling, I guess. I was really, really hoping for this to be a really, really good one. And I just didn't. Maybe my hopes were too high and that's what made it not as good. But I just feel like the writing level on this was much lower than I expected it to be. A lot of things just like didn't really make sense. I wish there was more background. Like, there were so many issues I had with this book. When I think about books with like a lot of meaning, a lot of like meat to them, I'm thinking of like the Hunger Games books. They were phenomenal. They are still phenomenal. They were easy to understand, but at the same time had so much more going on. They were written well. They were written like very appropriately. I don't really know how to explain it. I just hope that somebody understands. But like, my cat is sneezing and it's right outside my door. But I just really don't know how to explain it. I feel like that kind of writing has so much more to it, and there's obviously a lot of thought that goes into it, where I feel like a lot of books published now, they like only want to do the like attention grabbing, fast-paced, exciting stuff. I like when I have a background to a story. I like to understand where I am in the timeline. Like this book, for example, just jumps right into it in the middle of a story. There is no background at all. Like, I just could not wrap my head around what was going on in this book. But I'm also comparing to a lot of books that I read in my childhood that were older, like The Kite Runner I read in high school. I absolutely adore this book. I think it is so amazingly written. There is so much to think about when you read it, and that is what I really like in a book. Even in like Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. It's very short, very fast-paced, but you do have an idea of the past, what got them to this point, all of that kind of stuff. And I just really feel like a lot of books written now aren't like that. but I have found some good examples of like a continuation of good literature, and I think it'll be fun to share those. So I'll grab some of those and we'll talk about those. So I grabbed some books that I feel like bring me back to the kind of literature that like really made me a reader. The first one is A Certain Hunger by Chelsea G. Summers. This book is so beautifully and elegantly written. The cover made me love it, but then I read it and it felt like the older style of writing, if you understand what I mean. Like, it had thought-provoking literature in it. It was very like fast then slow, then fast then slow. It was a nice even pace. Cat is opening the door to leave. That one was amazing. Another newer one, Tender is the Flesh. This is one of my all-time favorite books, and it was written so beautifully. This one, for me, was a little bit reminiscent of like 1984 type of literature. It was so amazing to read. It is another one of those books that's like fast and slow. They don't give you all of the background right up front. It's also like dispersed into the rest of the story, which I really love. I definitely feel like we need to get back into giving a background to the story, not towards the end or strictly through flashbacks. This book did that really well. I know that this one is a little bit controversial, but A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihira is an absolutely amazingly written book. I did not like this book only because it was depressing, only because it was sad, only because it was realistic. I liked this book because it was so well written. It has like a very poetic kind of prose in it. There was not a whole lot of sugarcoating in the book. There is not a 100% clear point of view, but you still understand whose point of view you're kind of supposed to see at times. This book was so beautifully written, and this is one of the ones that reminds me of a book like The Kite Runner. It is sad. It is hard to get through. It is a little bit gut-wrenching, but it is so amazingly written. You can really analyze the things that happen. Beautiful. Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. Her writing in general is so beautiful. I love that she's able to really give you an idea of who her characters are. She does an amazing job of making you see her characters in a certain way. She can make you hate a character even though you were seeing things from their point of view and hearing their thought process about it, and I think that that is something really amazing. Her writing is absolutely beautiful. This Is How You Lose the Time War. It was a short one. This is just a novella, but it is still so beautifully written. It is written by two different authors at the same time, which I find astounding. But it is this really nice, like, back and forth kind of story. You understand what is happening even though they don't explicitly say it. I love how this book was written. I really wish that literature was still like this all the time. Do I love a book like Powerless, where there's not really as much that you need to think about? Yeah, I do enjoy them. But generally, I really like a book that I can sink my teeth into and analyze, because that is what I enjoy and that is what I do best. Could just be the kind of environment I grew up in. I grew up in a house of readers. We were very, very scientific, analytical growing up. My mom is a scientist. It just might be my background that makes me feel this way, but I really want to know if other people also feel this way. So please let me know if you have opinions about this subject, and please let me know any books that you feel are beautifully written in the comments. But I will see you next time. Happy reading. Enjoy your literature.